Welcome to the Big Success Show. Today, personal leadership in 5 easy steps. Brought to you by financialfreedomtool.com. Plenty of money for life.
Big Success with the Professor and Mary-Lynn.
Well, here we are thinking about Christmas this time of year.
Yes.
And one of the things that we think about with that is the Star of Bethlehem.
Yeah, in this story of the birth of a newborn king, the wise men were guided by a bright star in the sky.
Hello, I'm George Kruger, a.k.a. the Professor.
And I'm Mary-Lynn. This Star of Bethlehem brought to mind the North Star, which reminded us of Discover Your True North, which is a wonderful book by Bill George.
We got a lot of North going on.
I know.
So now in this book, True North is your destination, your big overarching goal. Now, if your destination is big success, that's big as an acronym, which means believing, implementing, goal-getting, giving back, success. If that's what your destination is, then you must be guided by a constant light.
And that light comes from your star. Keep your eyes firmly fixed on it, even though it seems distant.
When things get difficult, the sight of that star will help you keep pressing on the path set forward for you. It will keep you going true north.
Today, personal leadership is a long journey into your own soul. And we're going to share 5 steps which will lead you to a more rewarding life. Before we get to those 5 steps, let's provide some framework.
Now, so what we're really talking about here is personal leadership. Even if you never plan to lead others, I think that's a lot of people don't want to be a leader, right? But the reality is, even if you never want to lead others, even if you don't want to be a leader in an organization, or you aren't a leader in an organization, or even if you are, in all those cases, guess what? You have to lead yourself.
Yes, you're always a leader.
Exactly right. And if you don't, you're like a teeny tiny little boat way out in the middle of the ocean, a boat that's lost its motor.
I don't want to be in that boat.
No, I don't either, because you have no control over where you go, right? You just drift, and you hope that a big wave doesn't capsize you.
Now, if you're a regular here, and even if you're not, you'll soon get used to hearing us say this, we bring entrepreneurship to life here at Big Success. We call it personal entrepreneurship.
Yeah, and personal leadership, what we're talking about today, that's a part of personal entrepreneurship. It's a subset.
So what is the difference then between personal leadership and personal entrepreneurship?
Well, the difference is personal leadership, as most people discuss it, it looks at you as if you're the leader of a department in an organization. Okay, so you're just the leader. Whereas with personal entrepreneurship, this is what we think. You're not just a leader, you're the leader of the enterprise. That enterprise is your life, and you own that enterprise. Your life is owned by you 100%, lock, stock, and barrel.
It's yours, no trade-ins
That's right.
allowed.
but of course, organizations rise and fall on the strengths or the weaknesses of their leaders. And similarly, we as individuals rise or fall on our personal leadership abilities.
So, can you learn to be a personal leader, or are personal leaders born? Are you just naturally a leader?
Well, that's what we tend to think, right? Is that all these things are just given to us. But the reality is, as personal entrepreneurs wanting to improve our own personal leadership skills, we can learn from the executives profiled in this book we mentioned, Discover Your True North. It's clear that authentic leaders lead with their heads and their hearts. This helps them keep on course in spite of pressures and temptations that may come before them.
So then that would mean that leaders are made, not born.
That's exactly right, Mary-Lynn, and they're made, according to the author, made from the experiences where they discover their passion. And that provides the motivation they need to effectively lead. When you combine your passion with your strengths, that's that sweet spot that makes you much more likely to succeed.
And that's very entrepreneurial.
It is,
because
absolutely.
You're going to draw from your own resources to make something grow. Coming up, we're going to share 5 steps to holistic personal leadership. But first, a word from our sponsor, financialfreedomtool.com. Plenty of money for life.
How do your personal finances stack up to your neighbors? The new Financial Freedom Tool shows you how your income and expenses compare to other people like you, so that you quickly see how to save more money. Learn more at financialfreedomtool.com.
Today we're talking about personal leadership and finding your true north, your ultimate goal. We're ready to share 5 steps to 360-degree personal leadership. Step 1 is know yourself.
Now, this is the starting point. Personal leadership is a long journey into your own soul. Discover your strengths and weaknesses. Seek objective feedback from others. Find that passion that you have and your purpose.
Step number 2 for holistic personal leadership is practice your values and principles.
I think the easiest way to explain this is to just ask a question. How do you want to be treated? Treat other people just like that.
Yeah.
You know, you think about it, the golden rule is really just saying lead by example. You reap what you sow. People are attracted to authenticity, to real people. People who live their values and their principles, the ones that they preach, they're living it, they're doing it.
They're not hypocrites.
Yes, it's do what I say, it's do what I do, not what I say, right? And they're living that every single day.
The third step is to discover what motivates you.
Personal leaders want to make a difference. They enjoy pushing themselves to their limits. They want their occupation, that it be something that they're passionate about. Getting rich, that's cool, but it's a byproduct of their success, not the driver of it.
Right. Not that you're not driven by a goal or a desire to succeed.
No, absolutely. You very much so do. It's just that it's an attitude of service, right? We're
Yes.
serving people.
Yes. 5 steps to holistic personal leadership. Step 4 is build a support team.
The world is way, 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 way too complex to go it alone.
Yeah.
It just is. You have to develop a team. Now, this sounds weird when we're talking about personal leadership, right? That we're talking about forming a team, but you need to surround yourself with people who complement your strengths, but who share your passion and core values. I think, Mary-Lynn, this is why we work so well together, because our skill sets are very different, but yet we have the same vision, the same goals, the same principles, the same values, the same purpose. We align in all those important things, and then when we're not alike, those are the things that actually bring more to our relationship.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, thank you
You're
very
right.
much.
Yeah.
So for a personal leader, we're talking about, just like we're spouses as well as business partners, but if you have a spouse, that's somebody that's
your
part of your
partner in
support
life,
team, right?
yes.
Maybe your family. More and more people today are seeing the value of having a coach. You know, we have a coach. Sometimes we have more than one coach.
Right. We also coach.
And we also coach. And then as your wealth grows, your support team may grow as well. It probably will grow, in fact, we should say. You know, you need an insurance broker no matter what your wealth. We need a tax advisor. You know, as taxes get more complicated, we need an attorney. We may need an accountant, financial advisor. I mean, there's more. Let's
A
just name a
shoulder
few.
to cry on sometimes.
There you go. Exactly.
So, yes, so definitely you need a good team of people around you. Any leader does. So our 5th step to holistic personal leadership is create a balanced life.
Yeah, balance is really important even for busy personal leaders. You must schedule time with family and friends. Make time for yourself as well. You know, I think we sometimes forget this, that balance is just with other people, but we need some true downtime for ourselves.
It's just like all out and nothing back in. You've got to fill that well, right?
Exactly
Otherwise,
right.
you're going to be running on empty.
And that may be through exercise, perhaps through a hobby, whatever it is that catches your fancy.
Spending time with loved ones.
The second G in big success, give back to your community.
Yeah.
You know, it's believing, implementing, goal getting, giving back success. Balance gives you fresh perspectives that you can bring into your workplace to solve problems. And you know, Mary-Lynn, I think about with this, the study that was done about Nobel Prize winners. We've written about this, talked about it before. If you remember, like all scientists they surveyed, only about 1% of them had a hobby, but more than 50% of Nobel Prize winners had a hobby. It's just so important to have something that gets your mind unengaged in your issues with your work. Get unengaged, your mind keeps working, and you come back to your work able to solve problems you probably couldn't have solved otherwise.
Right. You need to have a creative outlet, right?
That's exactly it. So follow these 5 steps to lead yourself on the path to more meaning and fulfillment. It leads to big success.
You can find links to the references from today's podcast episode in our show notes. Plus, you can also get our free holistic goal setting cheat sheet. We created a 1-page cheat sheet to guide you through setting goals in 360 degrees. That holistic approach. Get your copy now to improve yourself personally, professionally, and financially follow the link in your show notes to get your copy.
And we'd like to personally thank you for listening today.
Until next time,
Here's to your big success.
Find big success at biggsuccess.com.